Hello everybody. Yesterday in the three-phase circuits we just saw the relationship between the line and phase values of voltage and current for a star connected and delta connected systems. In the end of the session, at the end of the session we started doing about the measurement of power. So here in the three-phase circuits I use a wattmeter to measure the power. In AC circuits, whether it is single phase or three phase, for measuring the power we need to use this wattmeter, because in the case of AC circuits the power is voltage, current and the cosine of the angle between voltage and current. We need to consider the angle, cosine of the angle also. If I use an ammeter and a voltmeter in the circuit to measure the voltage and current, it is not sufficient, because the ammeter and voltmeter will give you only the magnitude of the current. So it is not possible to measure the cosine of the angle what you have between the voltage and current in a single phase circuit. Therefore, we need to use the wattmeters. The wattmeter always reads the average value of the power, taking the magnitude of voltage and current and also the cosine of the angle between the voltage and current. Coming to the three-phase circuits, we have three methods of measuring the power. One is a 3 wattmeter method, where 1 wattmeter will be connected in each of the phase. The connection will be like this. What I do is, when you have a polyphase circuit, a three-phase circuit, say I have a circuit like this, 3 impedances connected in star, okay, with the access to the star point of the load. I have my 3-phase system this way, and the 4th wire is also available for me. Okay. So I will be connecting the current coil of the wattmeter in series with the line. I will write this as CC, current coil, and the potential coil will be connected in parallel with the line. If it is R, okay, I will be connecting in the neutral, this is N. So this wattmeter will give us a reading of say P1. Then in the Y phase I also introduce an ammeter, okay, with its current coil in the line where we have the line as Y, and I will be introducing a wattmeter between the line Y and the neutral point. When you have a B phase, this is my B phase. So to measure the power in the B phase, I introduce one more wattmeter between the line, okay. The wattmeter connection, you see, always the current coil should be connected in series with the load, so that what all the current will flow through the load, the same current will also flow through the current coil. This current is also equals to IR, because the resistance of the potential coil, what I call it as PC or the voltage coil, will be quite larger. Therefore, this parallel connection will draw a negligible amount of current from the system. Therefore, IR, the current in the current coil, will be the current in the load. So this is how you need to connect the wattmeter in the AC circuits. Okay. Now if P1 is the wattmeter reading in the R phase, so it will give us power consumed by the R phase load. Okay. I will write here Z here, Z, it is a balanced load. Okay. Then P2 will be the power given by the second wattmeter, and P3 is the power indicated by the third wattmeter. So total power P will be equals to P1 plus P2 plus P3. This will be the total power. So this is how you can connect the three-phase circuits, okay, 3 wattmeters for the measurement of power in the three-phase circuit. Now it is also possible for me to connect all these 3 points to this particular node, okay, that also is possible. Now generally, to give a good impression for the picture, for the diagram, we show it like this. Otherwise, it is possible to connect this point to here, similarly this point to here and this point to here. So therefore you can say, if I want to use this 3 wattmeter method for measuring the power, I need to connect the potential coil in this fashion only. That means there should be an access to this particular point, that is called as a star point of the load. Okay. Now let us say if this is not available, okay, if the star point is not accessible or the fourth wire what you are using, it is not available, such case it is not possible for me to use the 3 wattmeter method for measuring the power. So the power consumed by the load is the algebraic sum of the 3 wattmeter readings, that is already I told you. Okay. Now I will go to the 1 wattmeter method. I will be using a single wattmeter. Okay. So I will be just giving a simple diagram for that. Now I am using only 1 wattmeter. So I can, as I told you, I can connect the wattmeter like this also. The neutral point and Y phase, B phase are not available. Okay, I will not be connecting any meter there. So I have only connected the meter in the R phase. The previous method what I have shown, 3 wattmeter method of using of measuring power in 3 phase loads, the load can be balanced or unbalanced, doesn't matter. So all the 3 meters will indicate some power. Adding those meter readings, I will get the total power consumed by. But in this case it is not possible, because I will be writing the total power P is equals to 3 times P1. This is possible only when all the 3 phases indicate the same amount of power. That means all the 3 phases should consume the same amount of power. Then only it is possible to use this equation, total power P is equal to 3 times the wattmeter reading. Okay. If I want to use this method, my first requirement is all the 3 impedances in the load must have equal values, or we can say the load should be balanced. Then only I can use this single wattmeter method. Okay, and use this expression, total power is equal to 3 times P1. Okay. Now coming to the next method, I have a 2 wattmeter method, where if you see the slide on this, I have given you a diagram. The current coils are placed in line R and line B. Okay. The potential coil or the voltage coil what you have for the wattmeter are connected between the line R where the current coil is placed and line Y where I do not have any current coil. Okay. No wattmeter is connected here. So I need to connect the wattmeters like this. Okay. It is also possible to place one of the wattmeters in Y phase. Then I need to connect the potential coils between R phase and B phase, Y phase and B phase. Like that, any 2 lines should carry the current coils, because I am just using 2 wattmeters, and the potential coil must be connected, or the voltage coil must be connected in across the line where it is carrying. Okay, the current coil is connected and the other line. Okay. So this statement I mentioned in the next slide. Okay. See here, the potential coil of the wattmeters are connected between these lines and the third line, where this statement says the current coils of the 2 wattmeters W1, W2 or P1, P2, whatever you want you can write, are connected in any 2 lines. Okay. In the diagram I have shown you red and B phase. So Y phase was now open, therefore I will be connecting the potential coils between R phase and Y phase, B phase and Y phase. The sum of the wattmeter readings gives the average value of the total power absorbed by the 3 phases. Okay, that means total power P in the case of 2 wattmeter measurement method, okay, so is like this. I am using this as a B phase. In the diagram what I have mentioned, this is Y phase. I am placing a current coil in the B phase and the potential coil across B phase and Y phase, R phase and Y phase, like this. Now if you see this diagram, this method of power measurement can be used either for balanced loads or unbalanced loads. And one more thing is, it is not necessary for me to access the star point here. There is no, okay, even if it is not available, I can use this method of measuring power in 3 phase 3 wire system. So this is the diagram again I produced here. Okay. So here this just represents the internal connection, okay, the connection of meters, and I also mentioned the different terms what you are using here, okay. VRN, it is the instantaneous value of the voltage drop across the R phase or the voltage applied, okay. VBN, it is the voltage across B phase, and VYN is the voltage across the Y phase. These are all voltage drops what you have in the across the loads. Now this voltage drop is because of the current flow through the resistor to this load 1, okay. So when IR flows, because of the impedance there will be a voltage drop VRN, okay. Now similarly here I have the line voltage VRNY, R to Y or VRNY, we can also write it as VRY. This because I am using lowercase letters for the voltages here, these are all instantaneous values, okay. First let us see whether the sum of the two wattmeter readings will give you the total power in 3-phase 3-wire system or not, okay. So in proving that the 2 wattmeters are sufficient to measure power in a 3-phase 3-wire system, we need to make some small assumption that the wattmeters indicates instantaneous powers, but actually they represent the average power. So for the derivation purpose or for proving that this purpose, we need to assume that the wattmeters indicate instantaneous powers, okay. So with that assumption we will continue like this. I will be taking the voltage, phase voltages, okay. These are all phase voltages. It is V, Rn, Vyn and Vbn. These are the 3 phase voltages what you have for this 3-phase system. And then the resulting current, when I give this voltages to a star connection, okay, then I will be getting phase currents as IR, IY and IB. These are the respective phase currents in the system, okay. These are the phase currents. Then the instantaneous power in the R phase, it will be VRN IR, product of voltage and current. Similarly in the Y phase, VYN into IY, and the B phase VBN multiplied by IB. Then if I add up all these 3 powers, I will be getting the total power in the system, fine. We will be connecting that, okay. We will be adding all these 3 powers, then I will be getting the total power in the system. Let us say we are using the 2 wattmeters to measure this power, okay. So the circuit diagram for this 2 wattmeter method is like this, right. Now in this case, if I write down W1, the wattmeter reading, okay, because I have assumed that it measures instantaneous power, the current coil of the W1, it is carrying the line current of IR, okay, IR. If you see the voltage, okay, voltage across this point and this point, that is between the lines R and Y, where the W1 potential coil is connected, I have the voltage as VRNY, okay. Now this voltage VRNY, similarly when I write the reading for W2, okay, let us not take the plus sign there. See, this is what the W2, the W2 reading will be V. If you see the potential coil, the voltage what you have across these points, okay, B and Y. So I will be writing the voltage BNY and the current what you have in that is IB. So therefore it is IB. So what should be the total power? P should be equal to W1 plus W2, right. If these 2 equations are correct, then I can say the total power in a 3-phase 3-wire system can be measured using 2 wattmeters. Now I just take P is equal to W1 plus W2, where I will be writing this equation as VRNY IR plus VBNY IB. Okay, this is what. Then I expand this. Actually, this is voltage what you have between R and Y terminals. I have taken the phase voltages. So when you have V, R and Y, I can write this voltage as VRN minus of VYN multiplied by IR plus VBY. I can write it as VBN minus VYN, VBN minus VYN multiplied by IB. Okay. See here, if you see the diagram, here I have this as VRN, this as VBN and this as VYN. I want the voltage VRNY, that means the voltage from here up to this Y point. Okay. So when, if you see the voltages, the direction of VRN and the direction of VYN, they are opposite. Therefore, you can say VRN is opposed by VYN, therefore I will be taking the difference of these two voltages to find out the voltage VRNY. Similarly, when you take this VBN and VYN, VYN is opposing VBN, okay. Therefore, I will be taking VBN minus VYN is equal to VBNY, right. So now if I open the brackets, I will be getting like this: VRN into IR plus VBN into IB plus of, okay, or you write here minus VYN multiplied by IR plus IB. So there are three terms in this, okay, VRN IR, VBN IB minus of VYN into IR minus VYN into IB. I took that minus sign common, therefore I am getting IR plus IB. Okay. If you see the circuit, here I just apply Kirchhoff's current law at this point. When I apply Kirchhoff's current law at this point, okay, I have to take these currents IR, IY and IB. If you see these directions, all the three currents are meeting at this point N, that is the neutral point of the load or the star point of the load, what you can call, okay. Now because sum of the three currents is equal to 0 here, I can write at N IR plus IY plus IB is equal to 0. Therefore, IR plus IB is equal to minus IY. So using this relationship here, okay, here I get the power will be VRN multiplied by IR plus VBN multiplied by IB minus of VYN multiplied by minus IY. So this minus into minus becomes plus, therefore I will be getting VRN into IR plus VYN into IY plus VBN multiplied by IB. Now see this equation what you have, which is equal to W1 plus W2, okay, is same as this equation. Therefore I can say W1 plus W2 is equal to the total power in a three phase system, okay. Three phase, three wire system I have taken. If it is a fourth wire, availability is there, then it is not necessary for me to connect, okay. But the advantage of this method is applicable for either balanced loads or unbalanced loads, okay. See here I have taken this as an unbalanced load here, L1, L2, L3, okay. Now in the case of unbalanced load, the power factor for each phase will be different, but still I can use the 2 wattmeters to measure the power in a 3 phase 3 wire system, okay. If it is a delta connected, now this delta connection also I can also apply this in the case of a delta connected load. For the delta connected load, the method of deriving will be slightly different. There we will be bothered about line currents and phase voltages. Here we are taking line current or phase current and then we will be considering these line voltages. I can also prove for a delta connected load like this that 2 wattmeters are sufficient for measuring power in a 3 phase 3 wire system, okay. So this is what the proof what I have written on the board. See, the power measured by each wattmeter varies from instant to instant. Why? Because the voltage what I am giving to the potential coil is time dependent one. The current is also time dependent one. Therefore, the average power, the power what you have, it is also time varying. But the inertia of the moving system, it will not allow the pointer to vary with respect to time. Therefore, the wattmeters will indicate the average value of the power. Okay. As I mentioned here, the same proof can also be done for a delta connected system. Thus, 2 wattmeters are sufficient to measure power in a 3-phase balanced or unbalanced system. This is very important. Okay. 3-phase balanced or unbalanced system. Now, let us see how to measure the power factor using the wattmeters. Okay. Now, this method what I am going to do, it is applicable only for balanced 3-phase systems. Unbalanced systems, this method of power factor measurement will not be possible, because each phase current will have a different phase angle with respect to the respective phase voltages. In finding out the expression for the power factor in terms of the 2 wattmeter readings, I have to make an assumption, right, that the currents in the respective phases lags behind the respective phase voltages by certain angle. You can also make this assumption in the other way, that instead of considering lagging power factor, you can also consider the leading power factors. Okay. I will give you 2 phasor diagrams and I just explain what is the difference between the lagging power factor and the leading power factor. Okay. In the sense how the wattmeter reading changes with respect to the power factors. But here on the presentation, I have only for the lagging power factors, because most of the textbooks will give us the lagging power factors, because the industrial loads where you have the major part of the load, okay, 90 to 95% loads are all lagging, okay, generally. Therefore, we consider only the lagging power factor. Okay. So, connected to a 3-phase 3-wire system, here the first line says a balanced 3-phase inductive load at a power factor of cos phi, okay, lagging I mentioned because it is inductive load, connected to a 3-phase 3-wire system. The phase sequence is also important here. So, I will assume the phase sequence is RYB. Okay. The current coils of the 2 wattmeters W1 and W2 are connected in the line conductors R and Y, and the potential coils are connected between the corresponding line conductor, that is R and B. Okay. Because the current coils are in R and Y, the line B is open, there is no current coil, therefore, I need to connect the potential coil between R and B, Y and B. So, this diagram I just give it like this. There is a 3-phase power supply, 3-wire system, I have a 3-phase balanced load, I have just used 2 wattmeters with reading W1 and W2, current coils for it is in R line and this W2 it is in the Y line, the voltage coils I am connected across R and B, Y and B. Okay. Now, I need to, instead of taking the instantaneous values, because I want to write an expression for the wattmeter reading where I need to consider the angle of the voltage and current, and moreover I need to give us an average value for the power. I am assuming here, I am taking here or I am considering here RMS values of voltages and currents. So, as per the statement I have given here, IR, IY and IB are the 3 line currents, because it is I am assuming a balanced load, whether it is star or delta. Okay. I am having here, when you connect the wattmeter, the current coils will carry the line currents, whether the load is connected in star or delta does not matter, they always carry the line current. Okay. And then VRN, VYN and VBN are the phase voltages of the system. The load is balanced, therefore, we have all the currents will have an equal magnitude of IL and all the phase voltages will have an equal magnitude of V phase. Okay. Each line current lags its corresponding voltage by an angle phi. As I assume the inductive load, I need to take the angle as phi here. Okay. Lagging behind. Okay. That is why I mentioned here lags behind, because the load what I am considering is inductive in nature. So this is the phasor diagram. Okay, I just draw the phasor diagram on the board and I will tell you how to draw that. So without drawing this phasor diagram, it is not possible to derive the wattmeter readings. Okay, so all derivation for this wattmeter reading follows from this phasor diagram only. So therefore, the phasor diagram is very important here. I will be considering the phase voltage VRN as the reference quantity. I am taking the RMS value, therefore I am using capital letters there. Okay, then the corresponding phase voltage VYN, the next phase voltage lagging behind the voltage VRN by 120 degrees, and the third voltage VBN leads VRN, the reference voltage, by 120 or lags behind by 240, either way. Okay, I write this 120. This is my VBN RMS value. Now what is the phase sequence? I have a phase sequence of RYB here. In this direction, R will move first, R followed by Y followed by B, therefore it is RYB sequence. Okay. Now as I have assumed that the respective phase currents lags behind the respective phase voltages by an angle of phi. So this is what you have IR. Okay. Now this is what you have IY. All currents will have a equal magnitude, and this is IB. The angle between the phase voltage and the corresponding phase current, they are all phi. Okay. So this is how I draw the phasor diagram initially, because I have assumed that VRN is the reference quantity and IR lags behind VR because this is the respective voltage for this phase by phi. Similarly, IY is lagging behind VYN by phi and IB lagging behind VBN by phi, or you can also write it as theta. Okay, it is only the angular representation. Now if you see the diagram, I have line R where I have a current coil, okay, and the potential coil. IY, there is another current coil and there is a potential coil. Now these potential coils are connected in line B. Okay, this side we have a load and this side we have a supply. This is R, Y and B. I call this as W1, this I call it as W2 or P1, P2, whatever you want you can write. So this is IR and this is IY. Now if I see the W1 wattmeter reading, okay, this W1 should be equals to the voltage what I am applying across the potential coil VRB, okay, multiplied by IR, and cosine of the angle between VBRB and IR I should write. Okay, this is the angle between the two, cosine of the angle. Okay. Now if I see here VRB, it is the line voltage between lines R and B. This VRB I can write down in terms of the two phase voltages VRN and VBN as VRB is equal to VRN minus VBN. This again I can write it as VRN plus of minus VBN. So when VBN acting in that direction is positive, okay, when I want it as a minus VBN, what I need to do is I need to project this in the reverse direction. So I do like this, okay, I projected it in the reverse direction, therefore I will be getting here minus VBN. Now see the angle what you have between VRN and VBN is 120 degrees. When you project this in the reverse direction, the angle between the two voltages VRN and VYN, what it will be getting bisected. So this is 60 degrees, this also becomes 60. This is also 60 degrees, okay, because this is 120, all three phase voltages what you have, they are symmetrical, right. So when I extend this in the reverse direction, the angle gets bisected by bisected exactly, okay, 60 and 60. Now in this case I have here, I need to add these two voltages VRN and minus VBN, okay. Then when I do it, I will be getting a resultant this way, okay. So this is my VRB, okay, addition of these two voltages will give us VRB. Now here you see all these four sides are equal, therefore in that parallelogram when I draw the shorter diagonal and the longer diagonal, okay, they bisect each other, right. So they bisect each other here, okay. Not only bisecting, they also bisect the angle what you have here. So the 60 will be getting bisected, therefore the angle between VRN and VRB is 30 degrees and the angle between minus VBN and VRB, this is also 30. That means the 60 degrees what you have here, it gets bisected, okay, 30 and 30, right. In finding out the wattmeter reading W1, what I want is the angle between VRB and IR, okay. That is this smaller angle what you have, I need that, okay. So if you see that with respect to VRN, the angle of VRB is 30 degrees lagging behind, okay. See the direction here, okay. In this direction VRN goes first, then followed by VRB, therefore I can say VRB is lagging behind VRN by 30 degrees, okay. And similarly the current IR, it is lagging behind VR by 5, both the angles are lagging, okay. Therefore the net angle will be 30 minus 5, that is angle between VRB and IR will be 30 minus 5. Therefore if I use that angle in the expression for W1, I will be getting VRB IR cos of 30 minus 5, okay, cos of 30 minus 5. Therefore I can write this, VRB is the line voltage VL, IR is the line current IL, and cos of 30 minus 5. So this is W1, wattmeter reading W1. Similarly when you try to write down expression for W2, okay, W2, what you have here, it is connected between Y and B, the potential coil, it is connected between Y and B, therefore the voltage what I am giving to the potential coil is VYB and it is carrying a current of IY, and I need to find out the angle between VYB and IY. Here again I can write down VYB is equals to VYN minus of VBN. We already have a vector VBN here reversed in the direction, okay. Now if I add this VYN and VBN, I will be getting the vector VYB. So that vector VYB will be like this. Because VYN and VBN minus VBN have equal magnitudes, the diagonal what you have here, that okay, the line voltage, that is the resultant of addition of these two, will bisect this angle 60. Therefore this angle again is 30 degrees, right. And the angle between VYB, okay, VYB and IY, what I want, okay. If you see, this is 30 degrees and this is 5, so the total angle what you have here will be 30 plus 5, okay. This angle will be 30 plus 5. Therefore W2 will give us a reading of VYB IY cos of 30 plus 5. like this. Okay. So V by B is again the line voltage VL, okay, IL is the line current, cos of 30 plus phi. So these are the two wattmeter readings. Okay. Now again we will see whether their sum will give us the total power in the three phase system or not. So I write down W1 plus W2 is equals to VI that is the line voltage VL IL cos of 30 plus 30 minus phi is W1, okay, plus VL IL cos 30 plus phi, it is W2. So I have this VL IL common, so I will take out this as a common factor, then I write here cos 30 into cos phi, okay, plus sin 30 into sin phi, that is the expansion of cos of 30 minus phi, and when I expand this cos 30 into cos phi, the second term, because I have a plus sign here, I need to take a minus sign, so minus of sin 30 sin phi. So the negative terms will cancel here, therefore I will be getting VL IL 2 cos 30, okay, 2 cos 30 into cos phi. So this expression, when I substitute the value for cos 30 is 1 by 2, therefore I will be getting VL IL, okay, 2 into cos 30 is what, root 3 by 2 it is. So if I replace this cos 30 by root 3 by 2 cos phi, okay, so I will be getting this 2 cancelled here, then I will be getting the power as root 3 times VL IL cos phi. Yesterday we have seen that power in three phase circuits is given by this expression, okay. Therefore even by this method also you can prove that 2 wattmeters are sufficient to measure power in a three phase 3-wire system. Now let us see how to measure the power factor, okay. So in measuring the power factor, here in the slide I have taken, instead of W1 I have taken P1 as a wattmeter reading and P2 as the second wattmeter reading, okay. It is just only a reference, so any method you can use, any notation you can use. See, I just add up W1 plus W2. I just added up this W1 plus W2. I got a reading of root 3 VL IL cos phi. This is what you have, the average power consumed or the real power consumed in the three phase circuits. When I write down the expression for W1 minus W2, okay, this I will be getting like this, VL IL cos of 30 minus phi minus of VL IL cos 30 plus phi. So when I simplify this, taking VL IL as common factor, the first term will give you cos 30 into cos phi plus sin 30 into sin phi minus of, okay, cos 30 into cos phi minus sin 30 into sin phi. So with the take minus sign, open the brackets, I will be getting VL IL, okay, cos 30 cos phi is a positive value and cos 30 cos phi the negative value will cancel. I will be getting here 2 sin 30 sin phi, 2 sin 30 sin phi. Sin 30 is half VL IL, okay, 2 multiplied by 1 by 2 sin phi. Therefore I can cancel this 2, I can write VL IL sin phi. While doing the single phase circuits, I told you that power in single phase circuit, that is the average power, will have an expression of VI cos phi, and in single phase circuit the reactive power, the power due to reactance, okay, will be VL sin phi. So this expression is the same thing, okay, VL IL sin phi. So this represents the reactive power. But what is the reactive power in the three phase system? Okay, as we have an expression for the real power in the three phase system, root 3 VL IL cos phi, same way we have an expression for the reactive power as root 3 VL IL sin phi. Now by this method you can say, by using the two wattmeters I can also measure the real power and reactive power. If I want to measure the reactive power, I need to take the difference of these two wattmeter readings. So I will get this expression and multiply the difference by root 3. So you will be getting the total reactive power in the system. Now using these two wattmeter readings, I just can write down an expression for the power factor. I have W1 plus W2 like this, and W1 minus W2 given by this term, okay. So therefore if I write down W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2, I will be getting an expression of VL IL sin 30, okay, sin phi divided by VL IL cos 30 cos phi, right. Of course I have here 2 I have not written. So both the cases I should write 2 in the numerator as well as denominator. You can see W1 minus W2 is this, okay, 2 VL IL sin 30 sin phi. Same way addition of W1 plus W2 will give us VL IL cos 30 cos phi plus cos 30 cos phi. So 2 cos 30 cos phi, like this, okay. Now the same voltages, same currents we have here, therefore this ratio can be written as sin 30 upon cos 30 sin phi upon cos phi. So sin 30 upon cos 30 will give you tan 30, sin phi upon cos phi will give us tan phi, tangent of the angle, okay. Now tan phi will be 1 upon tan 30 multiplied by W1 minus W2 upon W1 plus W2. This is what you get, okay. This will have a value of root 3, okay. I will be getting root 3 here, W1 minus W2 upon W1 plus W2. You can write down the power factor angle phi, the angle what I said between the phase voltage and the phase current, phi is equals to tan inverse root 3 W1 minus W2 upon W1 plus W2. While using this equation in the problems, okay, it is, you should be very careful to put these brackets, okay, square brackets what I have written, because the root 3 should be inside the brackets, okay. If you do not write the brackets, you will be getting an expression as tan inverse root 3 W1 minus W2 divided by W plus W1 plus W2, okay. So that you should be very careful, because I cannot write tan inverse root 3 because the angle value will be totally different if I take the root 3 outside that brackets, okay. So you should calculate the angle taking this root 3 within the square brackets. Now when I know this phi, the angle phi, I can anytime calculate the power factor cos phi is equals to cos of the angle, cos of tan inverse, okay. Do not forget to put the bracket here, root 3 W1 minus W2 divided by W1 plus W2, okay. So this will give you the power factor. So the two wattmeters can also be used to measure the power factor, okay, in the three phase systems. I have some problems here, very simple problems about the polyphase circuits. The first problem is like this: a three phase 230 volt supply is given to a balanced load which is delta connected. Impedance in each phase of the load is 8 plus j6 ohms. Determine the phase current and the total power consumed. Okay. Now this attempting this problem, it is very simple. Okay. So as I told you in the yesterday's class that any phase current or any polyphase systems, three phase systems, if you want to calculate the current, okay, I will be calculating the phase current first. In calculating the phase current, I simply divide the phase voltage by the impedance of the phase. Now here first you should write down what is the connection of the load, how it is connected. Now as the statement says, it is a balanced load, that means all the three phases will have equal value of the impedance, and it is mentioned in the statement that it is delta connected. Okay. So when you take a delta connected one, we have it like this. This is my delta connection. All the three impedances are equal as per the statement. Okay. So this is 8 plus j6, this is also 8 plus j6, this is also 8 plus j6. I just get only 3 lines for a delta connection. Let me take this as R, Y and B. Now because it is balanced, it is sufficient for me to calculate current in one phase, because I can apply the relationship between the line current and phase current to get the line current value. Okay. And even in the problem they ask you to find out the phase current. Even if they ask you to calculate the line current, you need to calculate first the phase current. It is not possible to calculate the line current in a delta connected system without computing the phase current. So therefore here I phase, if I write down the phase current, it is phase voltage V phase divided by the impedance per phase. Now this is one phase, R Y terminals, this is one phase. So here I am applying a phase voltage of VRY. What is the magnitude of the voltage? Okay, I told you in the last session that unless otherwise mentioned, the voltages what they give in three phase systems, they are all line voltages. Now here because the load is being connected in delta, there is no difference between phase and line. Okay, both voltages are equal. Therefore I can treat the voltage what I am giving here 230 volts between R phase and Y phase as the phase voltage or as a line voltage. Okay, because for a delta connected system, as I mentioned here, VL is equal to V phase and IL will be equals to root 3 times I phase. I am making use of this relationship in solving this problem. Therefore I have here 230, I am taking that as a reference voltage, therefore the angle is 0, and I have here the impedance of 8 plus j6. Okay, 8 plus j6. Now this is a real number only 230 because the angle is 0, and denominator I need to convert this into polar form. Okay, when I convert into polar form, I will be getting magnitude as 10. It is equal to 8 square plus 6 square under square root. 64 plus 36 will give you square root of 100. Okay, so the square root of 100 is 10. At an angle of tan inverse 6 divided by 8, I will be getting here 36.86 degrees. Okay, now dividing the magnitude, I will be getting here 23 amperes at an angle of, this angle, numerator angle is 0 here, therefore I should write 0 minus 36.86. Okay, so this gives us a current of 23 amperes at an angle of minus 36.86 degrees. Okay, if you try to draw the phasor diagram for this particular connection, I will just write down only for one phase. The same thing will also hold good for the other phases. So you can see here I am taking VRY, the line voltage as reference here. Okay, and the current, it has a magnitude of I 23 amperes lagging behind the voltage at an angle of minus 36.86 degrees. Now to calculate the power consumed, I make use of this equation. P is equals to, as it is a three phase system, root 3 VL IL cosine of the angle between VRY and IR I want, okay, IRY. I is equal to IRY because the phase voltage what you are taking is VRY, so this current is also IRY. In calculating the power factor, I don't bother about the angle between line current and line voltage. I always consider the phase as a reference here in finding out the power factor, phase voltage and the phase current, okay. So this phase current I can write it as IRY because this current will be flowing from R towards Y, so this is IRY, okay. What is the value of IL? It is root 3 times VL I phase multiplied by root 3, because it is a delta connection. I am making use of this relationship, okay. Cosine of the angle between the two voltage and current is minus 36.86, okay. So this will give you root 3 times 230 as the line voltage for the given problem, multiplied by root 3 times 23 is the magnitude of the phase current, multiplied by cos 36.86 will result in a value of 0.8, okay. So the product of this will give us the power, okay. As per my calculation, the power what you are getting will be 12,696 watts, which you can write it as 12.696 kilowatt, okay. This is how we do the problem, okay. Similarly, we have good number of problems here. I have taken only 10 problems, okay, not 10, I have taken around 8 problems. Out of that 8 problems, certain 1 or 2 problems are of same type, okay. So I will be just doing only the problems which are of different nature, okay. So let us see in the next session about these problems. So today in this session we have just calculated we have proved that 2 wattmeters are sufficient to measure power in 3 phase 3 wire system, and we also derived the expressions for the wattmeter readings in terms of line voltage, line current and the power factor, okay. And I just have done only one single problem to calculate the line current, phase current and the power in the 3 phase circuits. In the next session we will do some more problems about these polyphase circuits. Thank you.